This is Matt Rosen, and this is The Grit Mindset with me, your host, Matt Rosen. The mission of The Grit Mindset is to inspire and empower our listeners by delving deep into the journeys of those who have faced significant challenges and emerged stronger. Through authentic conversations, we uncover the mindsets, strategies, and lessons that have propelled these individuals to overcome adversity and achieve success. My aim is to provide actionable insights and real-world advice to help our listeners cultivate their own grit and navigate their personal and professional lives with confidence and resilience. Hello, everyone. Welcome to The Grit Mindset. Happy 2026. Hope you all had a great holidays and New Year. I'm Matt Rosen, your host. Today, I have with me Kim Elenez. She is the president and CEO of Make-A-Wish Foundation here in North Texas. So, Kim, thanks for coming on The Grit Mindset.
Well, thanks for having me. This is fun.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And you didn't have to fight too much Dallas traffic. You're right in the building over.
But I still got lost. So, we'll just chalk that up to here we are.
Part of having grit to get on The Grit Mindset. So tell us a little bit about, Make-A-Wish North Texas. I know a lot of people are aware of the brand, but tell us just a little about the organization here and the work you do.
Oh my gosh. Well, we get to be with families when they're having some of their most challenging times, specifically. We work with families whose children have been diagnosed with a critical illness. Typically, people think of pediatric cancer that extends to all sorts of different critical illnesses. And we get to be the good news. We get to walk in and say, you know what, you've been through a lot and something good's on its way. Let's sit down and figure out together what that is.
That's awesome. So you really give the kids something to look forward to.
That's, we give everybody something to look forward to. I think when you make it really genuinely about that one child who is, navigating that as a child or as an adult, it would be unthinkable. But when you give them some control back and you say, okay, what's the thing? What's the thing that you've been, it's in your mind, you couldn't even imagine it would be possible. That is a contagious feeling. And so the family gets real excited, the siblings, it's just so important to be there for the siblings. So we really try to make it a full family experience.
Any recent wish that you're super excited about you can share?
Oh my gosh. Well, we do not quite 2 a day. So we've got a lot. One that's on my mind right now is a little girl named Kylie. We surprised her. Kylie loves Christmas and she wants to go to New York and she's 11. She wants to have a big, amazing New York Christmas experience. Awesome. And so we surprised her with that, and she's gone. And in fact, I can't name names, so there's that. But a really amazing celebrity was part of that surprise to be able to deliver it to her. So Make-A-Wish magic happens all the time. It's pretty cool.
That's so awesome. That's awesome work you guys do. So tell us a little about yourself. Do you wake up one day and say, I want to be a nonprofit CEO and grant wishes? Or?
Well, almost actually. My first job I was an English major. And Latin too. My dad used to love to say that, when Julius Caesar came over for dinner, I was going to be real useful. And so I wanted to be a writer. So, my first job was as a copywriter in an ad agency. And then I just sort of came up through the ad agency world and had some great success there. And I left there. I went to work for D Magazine. I was a group publisher at D Magazine for a few years. And my husband, his company moved us from Dallas out to North Carolina. Actually commuted back for D for a little bit. And, I really just had a moment. At that point, had graduated from college for probably 15, 16 years past and thought, what do I want to do? Like, what is it really that speaks to me? And just really, I just had this voice. I just had this call to say that I knew I wanted to run a nonprofit. I didn't know what that was. I was not necessarily capable yet. I don't think anybody needed to hire me for that job then. I could run business. I could, tell great stories, but didn't have the chops for it yet. So I had what I will forever say is truly one of the most wonderful professional experiences. I had the just incredible honor of being the chief marketing officer at the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill. I did that for about 6 years. I was the first person to have that job and I was part of raising a lot of money. And the team did. Raised a lot of money. And when I came back here, I commuted back to Chapel Hill for a few years, but still in my heart, I knew I wanted to run a nonprofit. So
what was it about nonprofits that called out to you?
I think I really just wanted to feel like I wanted to put my talents to work for something important, you know? And I don't get me wrong. I mean, all the clients I had in the agency world and certainly I mean, these are all great, important brands and providing essential parts of our livelihoods and economies and just good life, you know, and fun is fun. And doing good work. But I just felt like there was something more deep, you know? I felt like there was a way I could put my talents to work for creating truly an impact that I didn't understand. And actually, when I was at Carolina, I had a really transformational experience in Africa. I was there.
Tell us about that.
It was just, you know, the university has a lot of staff and faculty in Zambia and Malawi, and so
Very cool.
A lot of AIDS research started that. Really sprung off over about 40-year time period to a lot of other types of research and program initiatives. Well, so I went out there, and I'll just sort of cut to the chase. I had a chance to really travel very deep into the rural parts of Zambia. And I met these women who live, you know, in villages. The men, you know, they're a little less around.
Right.
And so the women really live in community, and they've got kids running around. And I got to know them, and they were funny. I threw a translator, right? They were funny, and they were giving me a hard time, and I was giving them a hard time. And they got their kids, and they're embarrassed because the kids have stuff on their face, and they're all trying to rub. But they live on 180 degrees of society from anything that I have known. And I really just had this profound, just really deeply profound feeling of like, why me? Like, why was I born here and they born? Like, why does this all happen?
Right.
And actually, neither is better. In a lot of ways, their quality of life is probably better than what I have or we experience because of, I mean, they've like got true sisterhood and true, you know, community and are making this life happen together. And they are very happy, always achieving, like we hope to. So coming back here, I think whenever I saw and this is what happened, I'm not kidding you, I saw that the Make-A-Wish, this job was posted online. And I was like, well, that's it. Like, that's the one. I mean, this was 22. It was 2014 that I had that sort of mindset of wanting to do this. And so I saw it and I was like, well, that's my job. I'm going to go get it. And gratefully, the board agreed.
Yeah. So as you were kind of coming up through the ranks in the ad agencies, any challenges, stories of, I always like to hear stories of grit, things you had to overcome to get to where you are. I definitely want to talk about what you're doing at Make-A-Wish and things you're dealing with there, but any lessons learned kind of coming up through the ranks?
I would say that probably the biggest, I would say personal barrier I put. Okay. Yeah. It was a personal barrier. I gratefully, I don't know. I suppose it's the people I surrounded myself with. A lot of gratitude to all those mentors over the years, and also just kind of me. I'm just a figure it outer. Sure. I just like we can do this. Whatever it is, there's a way to be able to get to where we want to go. It might not look like what we think, but I would say that the barrier that I put up for myself, that is the thing I really had to get over, was, and this is going to sound so silly. I mean, it's just going to sound so silly. I was always very aware of my age and being younger. And this idea that I had in my head, well, I've got to reach a certain age before I'm allowed to do that, or I'm not old enough to be able to do that. I didn't really care. I kind of pushed through it, but it was a source of a lot of sort of internal,
Did
sort
you
of
feel
struggle.
like you weren't quite ready because you weren't old enough?
I just think that people just probably just looked at me like you're, this little girl, and you're however old you are, and when you grow up, it'll be time to sit at the big table. And I felt like I had all of the ability. I pushed my way to a lot of tables. I'm sure folks that I've worked with over the past would probably say that too. I gave gave myself a seat at those tables. But I think in there, maybe imposter syndrome. I'm not really sure. But I just really worked really hard to kind of try to push through that. And I would say because of it, I don't know if this is irony or not, but I actually got a lot of jobs, a lot of positions that I was not ready for. I was not qualified for. And I got those jobs ahead of time. And I look back on that and I think, man, what a crooked path, and it's just so awesome because here I am doing this work. And I look back on all those like little bends and turns in the path. And I think, wow, that was just all preparing me so intentionally, not necessarily by my intention, but maybe some divine intention, to be able to do the work that I'm really meant to do. And I genuinely believe that that's this work at Make-A-Wish.
That's awesome. You mentioned mentors. Any that you want to call out, and any profound impact those mentors had on you along this path?
Oh gosh, isn't it fun? I love that question because it just like makes me flood back a little bit. Yes, there was a woman, Penny Kemp, that I worked for in Atlanta. And I mean, I just remember thinking she just had it, right? Like she just had this kind of cool girl way about her, super smart. I mean, just highly strategic, always thought beyond and thought bigger. And, but yet like, you would have a beer with anybody, kind of person. And, I always looked to her and her growth, or the gift that she gave me of growth was, I would just say, being more comfortable who I am. And I mean, that's really the greatest gift we can bring to any table is being exactly who you are.
Yeah. And what would you say to those that are feeling that imposter syndrome? Because I think all of us feel it from time to time, especially when we're in a position where we're not yet comfortable.
Yeah.
You had to overcome that several times. Like, what did you say to yourself to get through those times?
Well, I try to call it what it is, just mentally, sort of call it what it is. And then I just say, well, just go screw it up. I mean, like really, just go screw it up. And if I am in fact an imposter, then it'll be figured out. And then, okay, at least I'll have had the experience to hopefully grow from it. That doesn't mean that it's not hard. I don't mean to make light of it. I think it's also recognizing that I think what you said is is the key. Everybody has it. Yeah. Maybe not everybody. Most people have it.
At least at some point or another.
At least at some point or another. And if you don't, like, you got to kind of question that a little bit too, right? I mean, maybe that's another end of an issue of a block. But I think that really, truly understanding that most people do have it is the thing to make you look at the people who you just say, well, they've got it all together. And then you think about the fact that they probably have had that from time to time too. It gives you some comfort.
Yeah. No, I know many points in my career. It's like, do I really deserve to be here? But you just keep trudging forward. And I think in most fields, unless you're, a doctor and EMT, nobody's going to die. Nobody's going to lose a limb.
Right.
So just go for it.
No, you just go for it. And I would say that to some degree is true in my business, because if we don't get to those wishes fast enough, sometimes that is the biggest mess.
Yeah. So let's talk about what you're doing today and just some of the challenges you deal with in this organization. You've been there 2022, so you've been there for
3.5 years.
Yeah. So kind of talk about that experience and what that's been like coming into that kind of dream role for you.
Man, it has been everything I would have hoped it had been and more. I mean, really hard, real hard. I think that, there's definitely things about working in nonprofit that have surprised me. Not everybody's philanthropic, and that's okay. And they don't have to be. Most people we encounter are by function of what we do, certainly. But truly, most people want to help. And so I would say whether or not folks see themselves as being maybe financially philanthropic, or even probably moreover, are they financially able at this point to be philanthropic, there's still ways to help. And at Make-A-Wish specifically, we give people ways to help. But, it really has been a gift of a lifetime to have this job. I hope to have it for a long time. I'm not going anywhere. We're doing really well. We're doing really well. And I really put that on the shoulders of the team. The team we have. We've got about 45 people here in our chapter, which we extend across 161 counties of Texas. So we're a large organization of Make-A-Wish, and it's just you pour into people. Hopefully you get it right. And if you don't get it right, then you say, oops, I didn't get it right. Like, let's make it right. Yeah. And then you keep pushing on. But the biggest piece of it is, and this is, I think, the thing that one of the things I love about this job is we do one thing. We grant wishes. We don't have a variety of products. We don't have a variety of different types of things that we're doing. Sure. We do the one thing, so we can really isolate and make sure that we're thinking about it with excellence. We're bringing innovation to the practice of what that means to families. We've been doing it. We've done it 14,000 times here in North Texas.
That's amazing.
And so we'll do it.
A
lot of wishes.
Well, you're on the grit mindset. So I ask every guest this question is like, what does grit mean to you, whether personally or professionally?
not take a no for it. I mean, don't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
You know? And I think that sometimes the biggest no we give ourselves, right? Pushing through and saying, I'm going to figure it out. Like, I'm going to dig in. I'm just going to figure it out. I believe that where grit creates the most spark is when you've got that deep abiding belief of what you're doing. And it's not just about making money. It's not just about putting up numbers, though, like, those are all good things. And
Sure.
yeah, we celebrate all that. But it's really genuinely about what you believe you're doing. And, that's whether you're, making widgets or wishes, I think you can believe in the quality of it and what it means to the people which it serves.
No, I like that definition. Can you give us a story of where you've had to display grit as you've come into this new organization? You talk about things being hard. Can you tell us kind of a real world story of something you've had to work through?
I would say probably the times that I have felt the need to sort of dig in and bring that grit is, during seasons of staff transition, times when people have left.
That's always tough.
Yeah, it's tough because you still got to do the work. You still have to figure it out. As leaders, we can't let these setbacks impact you materially, right? So just roll up your sleeves and you got to, sort of tough it out. And sometimes you're real tired. Sometimes it feels like it's relentless and it's never ending. But remembering again that you believe in what you're doing, and so it's worth it. And it's the old adage of it's a marathon. It is.
Yeah.
Hopefully celebrate some good turns along the way. But there's when I first came on board at Make-A-Wish, it had been a season where there hadn't been a CEO in not quite, but nearly a year, and there hadn't been a leader in the development team in about the same amount of time. And because of that, we'd had a lot of staff attrition. There was, it's just hard to keep morale high when you don't have a leader and you've even got turnover in other leadership roles. And so, coming on and it was hard to get the business, back on track. But I would say what was harder was to see these people that are showing up every day to like do this work, some under real heavy, emotional lifts, right? Like, we're dealing with sick kids. Like, this is heavy stuff, and not all of them make it. Or if they do, they're still complicated journeys. And it's really, really heavy at times. And to see the work that they had been holding up through that time period, that was really hard. But yet to be able to tell them, effectively communicate, well, we got this.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing it for the right reasons. We're all doing it for the right reasons. We can believe in what we do when we don't get confused in all of the, other stuff that, makes it harder. Let's cut through. Let's focus on what matters the most and, kind of eat the elephant one bite at a time.
Yeah, I was going to ask, and I think you've somewhat answered, is like, how do you instill grit in the team?
Yeah. We do a lot of atta-girls.
Yeah.
A lot of attaboys. We believe in acknowledgement of that. We also believe in a lot of, I really am a big fan of work flexibility. I think it's an intangible that, you pour into people, you treat them like adults, and let their work be the thing that rings the day, not the time card, And so I would say listening to them and making sure that, you're really delivering as best as you can. We can't do everything, but listening to really what it is that everybody wants more money, but there's deeper actual things that people want. So I would say grit to instill sort of a space where that can thrive in the team. It's really about, in my mind, creating space where they feel safe to do good work, to show up with their own thoughts and ideas, to push back on leadership,
Sure.
And then let them know whenever we can do better too. And so it's not just talking it's it's talking together. It's creating something together.
Yeah, well, it sounds like you got a great team that has kind of come together under your leadership.
We have the best team. I mean, truly the best team. I mean, 45 of just the most amazing professionals who, literally can pull a rabbit out of a hat, whatever a child can dream of. I mean, we've got one right now where the little girl wants to meet a unicorn. figure that one out. You got it. We're on it. Like we'll figure, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
And I think that the sheer determination is just, again, driven from, I don't understand why I get to have healthy kids by the grace of God. They will continue that way. I get to have that. And we look at other parents all the time who don't have that same.
That's got to be really tough.
It's really tough. It's really tough to, I've got a 20-year-old and a 7-year-old. And 20-year-old's off at college, and that age doesn't qualify for a wish anymore. She's too old.
You have to be under 18.
You do. But I look, we have 7-year-olds that come in, all the time. And then to, meet a 7-year-old boy who's got cancer and, potentially an uncertain future, even if they survive it, still a lot of complications exist. And then I get to go home and tuck mine into bed and you just hug them tighter. Yeah. You just hug them tighter. You love on them more. And try to remember that, you just want to be out there doing the good work. And
yeah, it's amazing work that you do. What's kind of the grittiest wish you've ever had to pull together? Unicorn's tough, but is there any amazing story?
We've got quite a few. The one that I would say, this one actually happened before I came on board, but it's one of my, I would say, grittiest, to use that language, is some years ago. I want to say, I need to get my facts straight on this. I think it was maybe 2013, 2014. There was a young woman who had been adopted from an orphanage overseas. Okay. And a few years after she was adopted, was diagnosed with cancer. And so she got her wish, and her wish was for her roommate in the orphanage to become her sister.
Oh, wow.
And so we made that adoption happen.
Wow, that's wild.
Yeah, so that's not just saying you want this, go there, get that, not just meet somebody. I mean, that's managing international politics and all sorts of things.
What country was she in?
I believe it was Bulgaria.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Wow.
Yeah, and I think maybe I'll get the details wrong, but it was an enormously difficult situation, and one that really probably other than Make-A-Wish magic could have never have happened. Another one that I think is just really beautiful was and this one I would say is more about grit on the child side than on ours, though it was not easy. There was a young woman who did not know who her father was. So her wish was to find out who her father was. So that was her wish, is to find her dad. So we hired a private investigator.
Did you find him?
We did. Sadly, he had been deported. But
no.
But she was, that perhaps is where some of that grit, because she didn't know where it was going to go. I think as I understand it, she felt like, well, at least I'm not going to run into him. It's not if I'm her, I'm thinking, well, at least now I know it's not the guy at the grocery store. I'm not looking at every guy that walks by wondering, is that him? And so,
that's really amazing. I just always thought Make-A-Wish is sending kids to Disneyland.
Well, we do that too. We do that too. In fact, there's one right now that's also just, all of them are amazing. Every single, I could talk about all of them all day long. There's one little girl named Riley Kate. Her mom did a video of Riley Kate sitting on the sidelines of the parade at Disney World. And as the parade went by, and she had gone to the Bibbidi Boppity Boutique, so she had her hair all done and all the
that's crazy.
It's crazy, all the glitter, all of the pink, and as the parade went by, every single princess, prince, and character got off the float, came over, and bowed to her. And that type of thing happens all the time.
That's really cool.
Yeah. We call it Make-A-Wish magic. You never know, what little, spark, is going to come from it. Another one that, is just amazing is a young boy named Nino, who Nino is just the coolest kid ever. Well, when Nino was about 7, he was diagnosed with cancer, and it was they thought he was going to be okay. But his cancer journey, as his oncologist told me, was his treatment path was, you just got to hit it hard with heavy doses of chemo in the beginning, let it sustain, and at the end you hit it really hard again. And so that's what they did. Well, unfortunately, it caused a stroke in Nino. He fled to the hospital, and they discovered that he had a fungal infection in his sinus cavity, which is deadly, not curable, and it is not survivable. So they said, well, he told mom and dad, said he's got probably about 5 to 7 days left. Yeah. What do you want to do? Do you want us to call Make-A-Wish? How can we, make these last week meaningful? And mom said, well, he loved his birthday and he didn't have a birthday party. So let's throw him a birthday party. So in 24 hours, my incredible team pulled together just an epic birthday party for him over at Cook Children's. And, dad said, when he was very weak. The little Nino was very, very weak. I mean, this is a little boy days away from dying. And dad said, I just saw something change. And a few days later, the infectious disease doc came in to check the fungal infection, and she looked at the mom and she said, I don't understand. She's like, it's gone.
Wow.
It's gone. And so mom and dad sing the praises that they say, if it were not for that wish and if it were not for that birthday party, that Nino wouldn't be here with us. But Nino's doing great.
That's awesome.
He's recovering from his stroke. He's walking. He is going to go on to live an incredible life. And I love to think the wish did it. I think it played a role in that mind-body connection of what hope actually does and the spirit can do for the body. We don't understand that physiological connection, and Nino's proof that it can. And so we're gonna do that 600 times, and we're gonna get to all of them. There's 1,100 kids waiting right here in North Texas. 1,100.
And why wouldn't people want to give to that?
Well, from your mouth to God's ears. I mean, I'm on board. I agree. And so I think that we are going to get to everyone. That is an unsatisfactory reality of having 1,100 kids waiting. And we're going to get to everyone, and we're going to be in a place where we're now. Sadly, our kids are having to wait, as long as 2 years. So we like to say 2 years is too long. That's where we are. 2 years is too long. And we need folks to come alongside us to help volunteer. We need folks to support us financially. We're 100% local, so funded. And we're gonna get to them all.
Well, it's amazing work that you do. It's awesome. Thanks for sharing all the stories of the kids. And wow, it's a very touching story of Nino. Yeah.
Nino is he is a cool kid. Let me tell you, he is a cool kid. He likes some hardcore rap. I mean, he is. How
old is he now?
Nino is 10. I want to say Nino's 10 now.
Yeah.
I hate that I'm hesitating on that. But he and his mom, very close to he and his mom, Diana, and they're just truly wonderful people.
That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This is a great journey. Thank you for coming on and sharing all this. For those that are out there that, are thinking about getting in the nonprofit world or facing imposter syndrome, what would you say to them? What advice would you give to our audience?
Well, the first thing I'll say is if, people call me, all the time.
Yeah.
I'm having coffees with people all the time when they say, Kim, you made the switch from for-profit to nonprofit. How'd you do it? I want to do it. And oftentimes it's sort of followed by, I can't find my way. Like, I feel like my work doesn't have purpose. I feel like I need to. And so the first thing I say is, I love that. Definitely put your talent to work for something that you can believe in. But I would also say you do not have to eat, pray, love your way into bankruptcy, right? Like you can actually find that. You can find that in the work that you're doing today. There's an old saying that says, if you're not happy with a cup of coffee, you won't be happy with a yacht. So find happiness right where you are. Pour into something that is meaningful for you. I wouldn't suggest walking away from your life and your profession to do that. Like I said, 2014 was when I said, I want to do this. And it wasn't until 22. So maybe I'm not a good example. Maybe I slowed that walk too much. But for those who do have discerned that, who have thought about that and want to get into the nonprofit space, I'll just say, good for you. It's just awesome. And And I think a misconception that exists is nonprofit business is cute. It's not. It's hard. And I would say the regulation, the compliance that we need to be in. So we maintain our IRS status and all those sorts of things is more akin to a publicly traded company than it is to a private one. Yeah. They want to make sure if people or the IRS wants to make sure they're going to keep all their money. And if there's folks out there that aren't, good stewards of that, then they're going to find them. And that's part of it. And we're okay with that. We're okay with that. And so I would celebrate, folks wanting to make that transition. Just dig deep on what your talent is, right? Not what you've done necessarily, though that's helpful. What your talent is, and then go do that.
No, that's fantastic advice. So as we're kind of closing up the episode here, any kind of final thoughts, for our listeners out there?
I would say that, maybe particularly, and we're in a new year and, everybody's kind of taking stock and evaluating, what they want the year ahead to look like. I would say if you're not currently involved with a nonprofit organization or with a philanthropy, whether you can give money or not is beside the point. Start to build a practice of it. If you've got kids, bring your kids along with it. Start to build a practice in your life of it. Everybody likes to talk about a practice of gratitude. Sure. I myself have a deep, abiding practice of gratitude. I get to do everything I get to do. There is literally nothing I have to do. Everything. Taxes, I get to pay. I don't necessarily want to, but I get to because that means I've got work, right? I get to. And I would say that's a life-changing reality that can come from within when you find a organization or giving as a part of a greater good that you want to be a part of. And start small, build a practice,
That's great. Well, thank you for coming on the show and not only sharing your story, but sharing all the just inspiring and emotion-provoking stories of all the kids that have been granted wishes. So we'll make sure we post links to Make-A-Wish North Texas out there.
Excellent.
And hopefully our listeners, if you're so inclined, can go out and make a donation and start that practice, as Kim said. So here's to a great 2026. Kim, thank you so much for coming and being the first guest of the show, first guest of the year on the show. And for all our listeners out there, stay gritty.
In a world where IT can feel like just another sales pitch, PCA Technology Solutions does things differently. We call it the PCA way, and it's rooted in 4 unique focuses that make your business smarter, stronger, and more secure. IT should never be a mystery. Through quarterly roadmap meetings, continuing education, and guided procurement, we help business leaders and end users make smarter choices. When you understand what your IT is doing for you, it becomes an asset, not a headache.